Hey guys, it's me, the crafty curator, Letitia. In my last video, I said that I was going to try to record my progress on my Chatelaine from beginning to end, because I know it's a pretty intimidating project to a lot of people, and it was to me as well. Well, it still is to me, actually. No, I take that back. It's not that bad. Once you understand, once what you're looking at with the pattern and, the sequence that, in which to follow the pattern, it gets a little bit easier with time. So I decided, since this Chatelaine, this is the Peacock Garden Mandala, I decided that I was going to make a recording after each week of my progress, so I could share it with you guys, and it'll kind of be a recording of my Chatelaine progress from beginning to end. So you'll see me when I start it, and you'll see me when I finish it. I don't know. Let's see how this goes. So I'm on a weekly rotation with this and 3 other projects. So I anticipate maybe once a month I'll be doing a video specifically on my Chatelaine progress. So in my last video, I think that I was only on this section right here. And once again, I have my handy dandy pointer. This time it is a cable needle, not the double pointed needle. Anyway, nobody cares about that. So this is where I was previously. I showed this little section. I definitely talked about this, definitely talked about the Gloriana silks right here. Nope, was this Gloriana? Yep, this was Gloriana. I think I did this section, and since then, is this an octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is. So since then, I finished this octagon, which is part 1. This is part 1, I believe, of a 6-part, the 6-part or 9-part series for the Chatelaine design. So it's completed in what Martina calls parts. So this is part 1. It's not completed, but this is the perimeter. This is how big part 1 will be. So, since my last video, what have we done? As you know, the Chatelaine is symmetrical. So each section is going to have its own little part, but it looks exactly the same as the rest of it. So I had to mark the top using the compass that Emily sent to me. She's so very sweet. But since then, let's talk about some of the things that we have done here. I'm doing all of my cross stitches first. That's what Martina recommends, that you do all of the cross stitching first. I'm doing the silks and the metallics at the same time, so you can see there's some petite treasure braid thrown in there already. So I started up here. This is the top. This part up here is completely finished, I believe. What's going to go in these 2 empty sections right here and right here are going to be specialty stitches, which I'm saving for the end because, again, you want to do all your cross stitches first. So this top part up here is completed, with the exception of specialty stitches and beads. So all of this in here and in here is going to be beads. There are going to be beads in here and here. And you see up top here, this is a nice mixture of silks and petite treasure braid. So I have the gold petite treasure braid and the silver that I put in. You see the whole perimeter is done in metallic green petite treasure braid. So the metallics are really starting to make an appearance now. So this one, and I can't really get a good angle to show you the sheen on this one. This is a rayon thread that I've never worked with before. It is, let me see if I can show it to you. It called for the pattern called for Anchor Marlet, but what I was sent was Edmar Premium Embroidery Thread. So I'm assuming that this is a good substitute. It is color fast at 16 yards, 15 meters, 100% rayon. let me tell you, I can't tell if you can tell by looking at it. This is some slippery stuff. Slippery. See how shiny it is? It's very soft, very smooth, but it's very slick. I didn't use any Petite Treasure braid on this because I wasn't sure if I was supposed to. Now, one thing that I didn't know, I wasn't sure. Let me pull out. This is it wound up on the floss. So as you can see, wound up on the bobbin, I mean. As you can see, I'm trying to do this one-handed, and I seem to be failing. One moment. I can't do it. So hopefully you can see it. This is, are you going to focus? No. That is one ply. Well, it's not one ply, but that is one thread, and you can see it is 2 plies that are wound together to make that one thread. So since it was 2 ply, I really didn't know if I was supposed to unwind it or use it as it is. I'm determined to get this off so you can see. I had to use my mouth. Don't tell anybody. So this is one strand of it right there, and it's 2 ply. So one thing that I wasn't sure of in regard to using this particular type of thread is if I was supposed to unwind it and use one thread or if I just used it as is. So I did some investigating, and I found on a Chatelaine blog website you use this. No, I didn't. I'm lying. I had to go on the actual website because I first looked on the Chatelaine website and I couldn't find anything. I looked on the blog spot, couldn't find anything. So I went on this company's website and you use it exactly as you is with 1 ply. So if any of you come across this, because what was called for in the pattern was Anchor Marlet Jade, and I believe, which was also a rayon thread, and this is what was sent to me. I was sent 3 skeins of this, so I'm assuming this is an adequate substitute. If you get any of this Edmar premium embroidery thread, you only use 1 ply of it. Just like what you use with the Petite Treasure braid, you don't unwind it, you use 1 ply for the, look at cat hair, specialty thread. You use 1 ply for all of the metallics as well. So I know that was a question that I had when I first started using metallics, and I still see that question pop up every now and again. So when you get the Petite Treasure braid, this isn't it, but this is Petite Treasure braid. It's not what I use though. You use it exactly as it comes on the spool, on the card, just like that. You don't unwind it. So anyway, so here, this section is done with the gold and the silver. And I moved down to this section a bit. What I've been doing is once I complete one section, I will just try to keep moving until that section is completed. But if I have extra thread on my needle for that particular thread, but I'm done with it in this section, I'll go and put it in the next section until it's used up. But then I'll go back to this section to finish it up. So once I finished this section, I went down to this section and I started to fill this in. So this is the area that I'm working on right now. I did all of these squares, or rectangles should I say, and this is, I don't recall what thread this is. I want to say this is an NPI silk. I did all of these sections, this rectangle here and here. I'm hoping that you can see this clearly because my light is right above. I hope it's clear, but anyway. So I did each section here. So right now you can see I'm trying to fill this spot in. Now there's a lot that's going to be filled in these sections, each corner here. And you can see where I have little bits where I was just using up thread to fill it in. So hopefully on my next video, I'll have a little bit more to show you. But that was the only thing that was a little bit tricky. Those Edmar threads right here, they're used here. This section here. This section here. So it's all, it's looking good. I think it's coming along nicely. There hasn't been anything that has been too difficult or too unusual. Nothing that I couldn't figure out. Honestly, like I said, the trickiest part was being able to actually see the pattern. But once I used my digital copy as opposed to the hard copy, it was a lot easier because I could blow up each section and mark it off. Now, the next chatelaine that I'm looking at, I have a plan because these things are very expensive, but they're really beautiful. And I really like the idea of possibly maybe doing a chatelaine once a year. I have come up with an idea that I am going to buy my chatelaines a section at a time, even though it might be slightly more expensive to do it that way. I think that if I budget myself $20 to $25 a month to spend on kitting up my chatelaines, by the end of the year, I will have a fully kitted chatelaine. So that being said, I started looking into the Japanese Zen Garden, which is the one that I want to do next. I want to do that on Midas, which is this beautiful like a goldenrod colored hand-dyed fabric by Picture This Plus. So Japanese Zen Garden, the pattern itself, I was looking for the pattern and I had to go to Martina's website, but I was hesitant to order the pattern off the website because I didn't want to be sent a hard copy. I wanted a digital copy only. So I reached out to Cindy at European Cross Stitch to see if she could send me a digital copy, and I found out that Martina only does digital copies now, and it's probably for the reasons that I just mentioned, that it's very difficult to see on the hard copy. So that's a tidbit that I want to share. But in here, I'm just doing, like I said, this is all part one. And I'm just working my way around, doing all the cross stitches first. Then I'm going to go back and do the specialty stitches, which I believe are roads and eyelets for this particular section. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely talk about them once I get through to them. So I've gotten a lot of wonderful feedback about this concept. Thank you all for your feedback. But I said in my comments I may or may not be recording my progress on my chatelaine from beginning to end. So because I got so many wonderful feedback, so many wonderful comments, I do believe that I am going to continue with this. I just want to make sure that everybody understands it's only going to be about once a month because I'm only going to do the video after a week that this particular project is in rotation. So I actually ended this a couple of weeks ago, but as most of you know, I suffered a tragedy within my family. So this is actually the first time that I'm recording since then. Hopefully today I will do another recording showing my whips and my updates that I've had over the past couple of weeks, just guys, give you guys an update. A couple of new starts. Oh no, one new start. So I'll be recording that separately, but these chatelaine videos will be their own separate videos each time. There won't be anything else included in this video. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you guys have any questions or anything that you would like to ask me that about my experience with the chatelaine, please post them in the comments, and I'll make sure to follow up on them in my next video. So right now I'm working on my current whip, and then I'll be doing my other two whips, and then I'll be back to the chatelaine. So there should be an update in another few weeks. All right, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Take care.